So, good evening, Ms. Anjali and viewers. First of all, thank you for agreeing to join this session. This one will be the last of the series of sessions organized by IEEE Computer Society, Kerala Chapter, Women in Computing. So, with the final date nearing for handing in the applications and panic at its peak, I hope all of the applicants have started reviewing their applications by now for any final touches. And I guess with most of the answers ready, we can never be short on advice, and I guess this session will be helpful one way or the other. So in this session, we will be going through the entire application procedure of Adobe Women in Tech Scholarship and what ensues if or once we get selected. So here we have Ms. Anjali, who is currently a quantitative research analyst at JP Morgan Chase and Co. She got her dual degree in electronics and electrical communications engineering from IIT Kharagpur, and she is the Adobe Women in Tech Scholarship recipient for the year 2016. So I hope I've got the intro covered. Would you like to add anything in there?
Thanks for the introduction. It
All
seems
right.
like you did a bit of research.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to the questions now. So, Miss Anjali, what is the scholarship about in general, and what was it to you?
Okay, so let me put it this way. It was kind of like my first uh, serious internship that I did in my college, in my third year. So this internship was quite helpful in getting me further internships and also in the placement session.
All right.
So yeah, I think it's a great option, and yeah, I will let you know what all are the procedures and
Okay. So, why do you think this scholarship is needed, and how do you think it benefits women in tech?
okay. So first of all, it's not through campus. We externally apply it, right? So even third year or second year students, like if you're a final year student, fourth year student, basically BTech student, then you can apply it in third year also.
Okay.
Or so like in my case, I was a dual degree student.
Yeah.
So in the third year, our campus don't have any placement kind of internship kind of thing for third year student, but in fourth year we used to have this. So this was the best option that I got that I can externally apply, and I think it's quite a nice initiative from Adobe side to help girls grow up, especially in the tech field. So yeah, I would really appreciate it.
Okay, so coming to the application procedure, so we have a whole process here from answering essay questions to handing in your resume or even a optional video upload and also a letter of recommendation. So, which one of these do you think we need to focus on more?
I think the SOP statement of purpose that we need to write.
That the essay questions.
Yeah, yeah. So in our case, it was so I think it was the first time when the scholarship started. So they called it SOP at that time. That is statement
All
of
right.
purpose. That is why do you want to join? Why are you applying for the scholarship?
Oh,
So that's I think in our time it was the main focus that they gave upon because in our case there were no technical interviews. But I think after that they started because for my it was 2017 when I got selected. So after this, there were a couple of changes, I think. So in our case, it was the main focus was on SOP, statement of purpose.
so during your year, you guys didn't have to answer any essay questions.
So it was like just a couple of questions. They were questions like I saw the format that they are currently having, but they were a complete different paragraph also that we need to add there.
So, what were those questions that they asked?
So I don't clearly remember those questions, but yeah, mostly it was about why do you want to join, why are you applying for it, and why should we select you in preference to the others. So if you are able to convince them with those
That
things,
you
then I think
So there weren't any specific questions that you had to answer.
I don't think I remember any specific questions.
All right. So we have like 5 questions. Why they have asked really specific questions like what future technology are you passionate about, and why do you want to pursue that? Share any personal experiences that have had a positive or negative impact on
Okay.
their
So in the interviews, we were asked these questions.
life. Okay, so you had these questions for the interview rather than
Right, right.
writing an
So there
essay
was
about.
there were I think two HR rounds, and those were completely like to shortlist.
Two HR rounds
Yeah,
and no technical
yeah. No
round.
technical round. Yeah,
Okay, so I guess the format has changed a bit by now.
right.
Yeah. So could you run us through the whole procedure of writing a resume?
Yeah. So, first of all, I think it is a very nice point to start having a nice resume, because when I
Yeah.
applied for Adobe, I think that's when I was that's when
When
I
you
became,
first worked on it.
yeah, that's when I first became serious about my resume, that I need to have a proper resume. So I think it was a nice start. Then regarding the SOP, I would say, so basically when we were selected, we were told that why we got selected. There were four of us that who got selected that year,
Okay.
and there were I think around 800 applications. So they told us that they were quite inspired by our SOPs, statement of purpose, that why you want to join and what are all the difficulties you have faced while studying because you're a woman, those kind of things, and how you grew further or faced those difficulties, if any. And so I think it was a complete paragraph on how I prepared for my JE exam. So that was
Yeah.
something that they gave importance to. Then I think they were quite specific in asking us like if, like the women in tech, right? So in technology, why which technologies you are interested in, and why you went for IIT and not something else. Why engineering specifically? If you are a girl, and why you choose engineering or something else? So I think those were questions you need to be prepared if you are getting further selected in this process. They will ask you.
So so what have you so what did you include in your SOP?
Yeah, right, right. So I think what I included was, first of all, I would suggest everyone to have a particular Word doc. Don't see the questions, like just have a look at the questions that they've given. Then write a complete SOP differently in a Word doc. Write like a complete letter or something. Start thinking from your childhood, what all your
Yeah.
things you have done, and why you actually got interested into engineering as compared to some other things. So like in my case, it was like I have a big brother, and I was
Oh,
personally very, very interested in maths and those science, the small experiments that we used to have in our science textbooks. So I used to perform those things in my home with my brother.
okay.
So I was like very, very excited about how these things are working. Small things, maybe connecting to wires and lighting up a bulb as small as that, or maybe participating in some technical events in your school, making some projects and those like kind of things. So those are where I got really interested in my engineering, why I pursued my engineering. So that's something I start. So basically, you need to include things starting from your childhood. Don't just include those things that you are doing in your college.
Right now.
That are also really very important, the college things that you're doing. But
So the
what you
journey
have,
rather than what you're doing right
yeah,
now.
your complete journey is something which matters. That's why they are calling women in tech, why women are coming towards technology. So they really want to have that perspective, that what made you focus towards the technical field. So that's something which you need to include. And I think every girl who came into engineering, at some or the other point she has a like preference, why not being a doctor or
Yeah.
something else, but why coming to engineering. Everyone has something, but we just need to think, sit down and sit and write it down on a paper, and then answer those questions that they are provided. They are very simple questions, but you need to be very clear about yourself, then it's quite easy to answer those questions. And the interviews also are, you just need to be truth with yourself and with the interviewer. I think that's the biggest thing that you can do. That's
I
that is
guess
that person.
I guess that's what we all struggle with, putting our thoughts clearly into the paper or
Right, right,
yeah. So you guys already had to send in a letter of recommendation?
right. We needed, I think, two letters of recommendation. I'm not quite sure, one or two letters. Yeah. So we asked our professors with whom we were doing projects or we had some courses. So yeah, they gave us those letters of recommendation.
Ma'am, could you keep your audio is getting cut off in
Yeah.
between?
You can hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now. Okay. So do we need to ask the professors to emphasize on something or anything specific that they need to put in there which would make the letter of recommendation stand out?
Yeah, so I think in my case, what the professors wrote, they actually sent me a copies to have a look that this is something that we are
Okay.
sending. So because I think we send it, is it we need to send it or the professors directly send
The
it? I am not
professors directly
quite sure.
send it.
Okay, yeah. So I actually read the recommendation. So what the professor, so it was mostly like the courses that I did, and I really enjoyed some of the courses. Like there was electromagnetic course I was quite interested in. Those kind of things. So the professor wrote that if you got a nice grade, then he will write that yeah, she's quite regular to the classes,
Okay.
and she standed out quite good in the examination and all those things, and she participated in classes, basically asking those questions. Basically, he need to specify things which show that yeah, you are interested in technology and the subjects. So do take recommendation from professors
Who
whose
has
either
taught you?
courses you have done or you are doing a project under him. Yeah.
So did you guys have a video upload?
No, there was no video upload as such.
Not even an optional one.
No, no, no.
Okay, so I guess that's something that's new. So if even if we do a video upload, what do you think should the general content of it be?
So have they specified anything? What kind of video or
Nothing at all.
okay, so I think then it should be something, as I told you, that something which made you interested towards technology. It should be very small thing. It could be big thing. It doesn't matter. But you should be very clear about what you are writing, what you are saying. Be very prepared and clear, and just be truth. That's all that they need. Because they will ask cross questions on them, those things. Because the person who read my SOP and shortlisted me, he was like, he read the SOP, I don't know how many times he told me, I read it like around 8, 9 times. And they are like very thorough with all those things that you have written. So you should be very clear and you should know the back and forth of everything that you have written.
So with the interview round, they're definitely going to be following up on the SOP that you had
Right,
written.
right, right. So I think now in this case there will be question answers. Yeah.
Yeah. So the questions that required answering from a perspective of your personal experiences regarding issues that you faced in the field of technology, uh, would you recommend completely sticking to a technical difficulty that you faced, or could it be any sort of issue that
No,
you
no.
faced throughout?
It can be any sort of issue. It's not necessarily technical, but something which tried to stop you in your life, and it could be anything. It could be as small as having some issues with paying your fees, or it could be something like having some medical issues. It could be anything, but
Anything?
something, yeah, something that inspires the person who hears it. That how you came out of that difficulty and got further in your life.
All right. So, how long will it be before you get a phone call if you get selected?
Uh, I'm not quite sure. I think it was. So when's the deadline? I think it's 2 3
It's
days now.
tomorrow.
Okay. So I think it will take a couple of months before you get a call, because there will be a lot of applications and they sit down and read all those applications, all those SOPs.
So there'll definitely be a couple of months before
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
yeah. So
round.
then they need to shortlist all those things. So yeah, it
Uh,
will take a couple of months.
So, how much does your community or volunteering work help with the application process? Does that matter a lot for this?
Can you elaborate a bit more
Uh,
your question?
Clubs that you're part of, or
Okay, so yeah, yeah,
extracurricular
I got your
activities?
question. Yeah, yeah. So, in my case, I was not part of any club as such
Okay.
there, but yeah, I participated in some of the hall events, not many, but yeah, I was quite into the studies that I was doing and the projects basically.
Yeah.
So that thing I think, but I think having something which helps your leadership qualities, which
Yeah.
shows, is always a plus. So, and I think if you have done anything related to social work or something, I think that would be a really great positive.
Point in your
Yeah,
resume.
because I think I had some courses in which we were asked to go to villages and collect some data and help out those people in some way
Okay.
or the other. So I think that was a point
That should
that they,
count as
yeah,
community work.
yeah. So they asked us, me specifically, that point, that what was your part in that thing. And so I think that's having a leadership quality is always a plus plus. Yeah.
So, what were the questions that you faced during your interview round specifically?
So in my interview, guys, those were mostly, first round was completely based on SOP, statement of purpose, all from the starting to the ending. So it
Okay.
was I think 1.5 hour interview, and they will they will ask everything from your childhood to currently where you are and how you are doing all those things. And I think once that round is done, then in the second round it will be mostly if you are going to pursue higher studies and all those kind of things. They will ask you those things. Have you applied for any applications?
Okay.
I think in my case, I did apply for one or two applications, but I was more interested in doing an internship, not FT, but basically foreign training. But in India, I wanted to have an experience in the next country. So I think we should not tell, I think. Even if you have applied, just say that you are interested in that. Because
Yes.
I know a friend of mine who got rejected based on that thing.
Because they had not applied.
No, no, because they actually applied and they actually got some applications accepted also. So she
Oh,
told that, yeah, I might go out because my applications are accepted. Then they directly rejected her.
so she'll reject this and go for that in case she
Yeah,
gets.
exactly. So she told
Oh,
that my preference is that thing. Then obviously they will take someone who will
yeah.
actually, yeah.
So, what exactly were you offered at the end of this? Was it a mentorship per se or internship?
Okay, so there was a couple of things that they actually provided. So first of all,
Okay.
it was a Adobe research internship that you get. So I would
Is
say
it
that's
is it an option or an entire process that you go through?
it's an option. It's a
Okay.
complete option. You can reject it after getting it also. So I accepted it. So let me tell you what all things that
But
they
you'll still
provided.
have the scholarship even if you reject the internship.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
right. I think that's true because I think there was a girl who was getting the scholarship. She didn't do the
Okay.
internship also. So that's also a question that they will ask. So actually, my friend asked asked them that is that an option that if we reject reject it, and then they directly rejected her.
Yeah.
Because, so
So
okay,
just
so
say that I'll do the internship even if you.
right, right, right.
Okay. Okay.
So the things that they provide is first of all an Adobe research internship. So I think that's the best thing. They provide many other scholarships also, but the thing that helped me go further in my other interviews or placements or all those things is the Adobe research internships. That's of quite a lot of value. Yeah. So first thing is that. Then the second thing that they provide is your final year tuition fees.
Okay.
So that's something that they provided. And then it was a mentor. So one mentor you will get when you are doing the internship. Actually, two mentors you will get. So that internship is like very regressive internship. You will have to devote a lot of hours, but you will get to learn a lot.
Do you go there and do the internship or?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a summer internship of
Okay.
2.5 months.
Okay.
You go to Bangalore, and
Okay.
then there you do the internship.
How was your internship like? What did you do there?
So it was actually on a website called Behance. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's Adobe product. So we were asked to add some more features there. So we were trying
Okay.
to introduce something of budding system or something. So that I'm not allowed to tell that currently.
Okay.
So yeah, one more thing that I got from this is so most of the this internship that you do there, they are research. So basically, you are a research intern there, right? So they have patents from the internship that you do. They will ask you to write a complete paper after your internship. So that's why I'm saying. So first, I think in our case, it was like for the first 15 days, you will have to decide yourself on the problem statement that you are going to work. They will provide
So
you a
you would
broader.
be working on something that you want.
Right, exactly. That's
Okay.
the best one. So they will provide you a broader area. Like in our case, it was told that you have to work on a website called Behance. Now, what all things you want to improve there, go through all the websites, all other websites, everything. Then it's a 15-day process. You will have to make a presentation and all the complete ideas, brainstorming, everything goes. And there are mentors who are there to help you. You will have meetings, daily meetings, and they are like really great mentors. They will help you with everything. Then after 15 days, there will be a presentation all the mentors on those, all the basically interns on those on the floor will do the presentation, and they are like quite senior people who are sitting in the presentation. They will also look because they are going to be patents on those projects
Yes.
finally. So once that's decided, then after 15 days, actually the project starts, and yeah, so then I think for around 1.5 to 2 months, 2 months you do the project and you write all the contents that they want, and yeah, so that's how it works. There are research papers, patents which they get from the internship, so they give a lot of importance to this internships.
So, is this something that you did individually or worked with the other
No,
interns?
it's always at least a team of two. In my case, it was team of two, but there are teams of three people also.
So, four of you got selected for it, right?
Yeah, it's not all girls. So basically, there are internships. Adobe goes to campuses, right? Also for
All right. So,
internships.
you'll be
So it's
working
the
with.
same internship. Yeah, it's
Okay.
the same internship that they provide us. So
Okay.
there were many girls who got selected through
Yeah.
campuses also, and
Okay.
they got this internship from Adobe Women in Tech also.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing, and I think yeah, the scholarship I told you, the final year fees they provide, and then I think they were planning to have some kind of project also, like the MTech, BTech project that we guys have. So if your college permit, then they can have a 6 months kind of project that they will provide a mentor, and you can ask for help for that thing. But I didn't took that because in our college there was no such system. We need to do a project under a professor. That's mandatory.
So, you strictly need to do it under a professor from your college.
Yeah, yeah. So we
Okay.
strictly need to do that. So I
But if you
didn't took
want,
that.
but
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want,
yeah.
they provide a
They
mentor
provide a
to help
mentor,
with
right?
that
Right.
outside of this internship that you do in Bangalore. Okay. So, did this internship give you any idea regarding your future, or
Yeah.
did it change your course of?
Yeah, yeah. So it was my first experience in a like what I should say first
Work?
corporate experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they will give you such nice amenities and all those things. You will be like, oh, it's
You
quite
definitely
good.
want
Yeah,
this.
it's quite good. They will give you like 5-star hotels and everything, and you'll be like, oh, it's like very good. But I think the main thing that we need to focus on internship is uh, give you 100% to the work that you're doing. Other things they will take care of. Don't worry about that. But you need to be really interested in the work that you're doing. Then only pursue further because they provide PPOs. They are like a lot of percentage of people with the internships get PPOs. And if you are a pre-final year, they provide PPI. Basically, again, you can do an internship with them. That's something that I got, that I was offered an internship again.
Did
But
you accept that?
no, because I wanted to do another kind of internship. I already had an experience of the internship, so I didn't want to have
You
one
wanted to
more.
do something different.
Yeah, because really wanted to explore. That was a time when you don't know. I don't know in what thing I am interested in. So I was like a very confused person that most
Yeah.
of the students on campuses are. Yeah,
Uh,
so
s- so, was this internship different from what you were interested in? That is your core.
yeah, so I was quite interested in my code, but I wanted to have a experience in coding basically. I was not very good in coding at that time,
Before
and
you applied for this scholarship, how efficient were you with that?
I would say I was like very less, very less. So
So
this
that
internship,
like
yeah, that's
before
fine
you
at that
applied.
time because there were no technical rounds. They
Okay.
just wanted to have someone who is interested in technical fields and all those things. Basically, machine learnings. There are a lot of projects on machine learning. So yeah, there were many projects. So I think that's where I started. I got to know a lot of things but I think having a experience in Python and C++ is always a plus. That's I
For
think
the
something which
application process.
yeah, that's something which will definitely add up to your chances of getting selected. So so I had experience of C, but not a lot of experience, just basic data structures I knew. But yeah, so that internships helped me grow a lot in my coding skills. Then that a lot in my presenting skills. The
Yeah.
presentation that you give, that gives you a lot of confidence. After those any presentation you will give in your college, you will be like, yeah, it's not
Really
that
good with.
yeah, it's not that big. They will teach you how to make those presentations in a very like nice manner, and you will have talk tracks. What all you are going to talk, they will make you write those things, and
Yeah.
they literally sit down and you present. I don't think it was around 50 times we presented. We gave the presentation to our mentors. So we
Okay.
were, and then
Before
it's
the
like,
final presentation.
yeah, before the final presentation, because it's like a lot of importance. There are all like senior managers sitting there. So I think that's why they give a lot of importance to the presentations that we do. So you will get to learn a lot there. So, yeah.
So I guess that's something that hinders most of us when we apply for this scholarship. The fact that we don't really have strong technical background and the common misconception that most people who get it are really strong in that or have prior experience or.
No, I don't think that's something that they focus a lot on. Yeah, it actually,
But it would
yeah, it
definitely
do
be,
adds up, but it's
yeah,
not everything that needs. It's
that
not,
they're looking for.
yeah, it's not everything. What they're looking for is in like very like difficult situation. Can you
How would
cope
you
up
deal?
with those things and
Yeah,
overcome with those things and do some exceptional things? Present basically get so like in my case I was having a difficult time and then I got selected. I prepared, got selected for JE, and then in my college time also. So all those journey that you explains them or everything technical things, so there were many things that you also don't know about yourself,
yeah.
but when you sit and think about all those answers that you're writing, you will get to know, oh, I did this thing. Talk to your family, talk to your
Basically,
friends, and
introspection about
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. So I got to know a lot of things about myself in that process, and that was quite nice.
So when you applied for the scholarship, did you have any finished projects or had?
So in my case, there was, I think, a project that I was doing within a professor. It was not fully complete. Other than that, in our courses that we do have small projects like 50% marks are given to some projects that we do. Then that's something that I wrote. But they were just one or two of those projects. Other than that, you can write about your labs. So I
Labs?
used, yeah, the labs that we do. So I was the one who was very interested in those
Yeah.
labs, electronics things. I was like, oh, this is my kind of thing. I was so much interested in those things. So the digital electronics, analog electronics. I literally wrote about those labs that I do. How was my experience there?
So you added them all in your resume, the lab experience, or?
No, not in my resume. In the statement of purpose that I wrote.
Okay.
So basically, let me go through what all things I mentioned there. So I started from a very childhood. I was like a very maths interested person. I used
Yeah.
to love maths. Then from there, I had a big brother, so that's also kind of a support. He was also interested in, so having a similar interest person
In
always
the
helps
family.
you. Yeah, and he was also like quite interested in doing those small experiments, watching it on television and then or reading
Doing.
it somewhere in books. Yeah, we used to buy books of science experiments and perform it on home. So I think that's what made me more interested towards the engineering field. That's I included there. That's something. Then after that, my preparation after 10th, choosing the maths and science background, then with your basically the coaching and all those things that you take to go through the entrance examination, that's something I included. After that, in the college, how I am going through all my basically electronics subjects and what all things I'm interested in. The labs, it can be classes, you can mention if you are really interested in some particular subject that you can actually mention there. They can have small questions. They are not like complete electronics people, but they can ask you a small things like what you are most interested in. That why did you mention that subject there? Why did you mention that lab there? So I think a positive point according to me. We can mention that because we are not like final year students. Most of the people who apply they are not final year students, so they don't have very big projects. But we do have small projects that we do, and we do have labs that we provide a lot of time. So that's something that I mentioned.
So, so it's not really necessary that you need to have a strong interest in computer science fields.
Yeah.
It could be your core as well.
Yeah. You can explore things, right? They know
Yeah,
that from childhood you are exploring things, you
exploring
are
different
doing, and you are doing good in wherever you are going. So that's something that they just want to know
they're
that.
looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, in your SOP, you mostly talked about your interest in core and
Right, right. I wrote about electronics also, like why
okay,
I got there and all those things.
okay. So I guess that answers all the questions that everyone might have possibly had. So do you have any final words of advice for all the applicants?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Any
I,
last
right.
additions that we might need to add?
Yeah, I would say don't be very much stressed out.
Yeah.
Sit silently, think about yourself, and if you're like very stressed out, sit and meditate for 5-10 minutes. That actually helped me. Then you will start getting ideas. You will start understanding yourself, and then write everything down. And I think the since the deadline is quite near, so most of the people have already written things.
Written.
So just go through all those things once more before submitting it. Make your maybe your family members read it once. They can give you really nice advice. We always underestimate our parents and our
Yeah. They know
siblings.
more about you than you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. They know a lot more about you, and you will be like, oh, I just missed this point. So do take it a point to make your
Yeah.
parents or your siblings read it once. Will really help you out. Then I think yeah, it's all. Don't be very stressed out. Things will get better.
All right. So this is not the application process is not something that you can get done within a few days. You have to sit down and
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it
You
over.
will have to sit down. It takes a lot of days to write those questions answers.
All right. So I guess that's the end of it. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this session once again. So I'll stop the recording now.
Sure, sure.